Good afternoon. Welcome to our Residents Council meeting on February 23rd. This is our combination of the end and the final meeting for this year. So we, as usually, most of the time for me, we need to have an invocation. So Charlotte, if you'd like to come.
Thank you. Let us pray. Our loving God, as we place all our worries and concerns in your hands, fill us with your peace. We ask your blessing for all those who are going through difficult times. We pray for their comfort. For those who are ill, your healing hands. For those in need, for provision. For those in harm's way, your protection. Bless us and use us so we can be a blessing to others. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Before moving into the agenda today, I'd like to promise 3 people who asked if they could come in early with a couple of different requests. So Jean Modi and Charlotte Bailey again and Tom Maxwell. Jean, if you could come first.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, who is here from the dining area? Come on up. Come on down. As our swan song for this dining committee meeting, we decided we would like to present a note of appreciation for the dining staff. And I want to read it to you. And the dining committee, on behalf of the Cedarfield residents, would like to express their thanks and appreciation to all of the dining staff, chefs, cooks, servers, wait staff, hostesses, and their supervisors for the exceptional job you have done in the past 2 years. It has been a challenge with all of the restrictions and ongoing changes. Yet the meals have continued to be delicious and all challenges have been met with a smile. So I think we can thank the dining committee for this. Can I give my report while I'm standing here? Okay. I don't want to waste energy.
You go back to work.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. No gift card? No.
Thank you, guys.
I just want to give a short Reader's Digest on the notes from our dining committee meeting. As you can kind of observe from watching, things are looking up in the dining room. We have, it seems to be almost a full complementary staff. But what you need to know as residents, as the sooner it's a domino effect, the sooner we can get back to less takeouts, it will result in freeing space in the kitchen for Prima to operate. It will free up staff and to work, as wait staff, and will help with our maybe not needing reservations. I'm not saying that we don't need reservations at this point, but that is a goal that David and the staff are working towards. So that's kind of the Reader's Digest version of my notes. They will be in the minutes in their entirety, but thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you. Next, Charlotte, you have several seconds.
As you know, February is donation month for the Angel Fund. If you have not yet made a contribution, you have a few days. But actually, you have 12 months. But we'd like you to contribute this month. If you haven't, please consider doing so. As you know, the contributions that you give to the Angel Fund remain here at Cedarfield for the express purpose of benefiting anyone in the Cedarfield community who are experiencing financial crises. And it's 100% tax deductible. If you haven't yet contributed, please consider doing so. And we even have a new brochure this year, and it's lovely. Thanks to Trish and Nancy Boyer and the graphic designer at Pinnacle Living. We would appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The third is Tom Maxwell. First of all, I need to apologize to Tom. He thinks he's here to highlight the recent walk for residents and team members, the one from Alaska to Florida, over 130 participants. However, now that you're here, I've been asked to, we have a certificate of recognition along with a little bit of a gift card. I would like to read this, and then Tom, you could struggle up here and say whatever you wish. This is a certificate of recognition, Tom Maxwell, for creating an annual walk which encourages participation from both residents and team members of all levels of fitness. Your dedication of time and thoroughness of detail feeds our quest for lifelong learning and allows us to safely travel without leaving campus. You are our inspiration for mind, body, and spirit. And this is a certificate, and in this is a gift card for our friend. Please go forward.
Thank you, Alvin. I'm speechless, so I don't think I'll give the report. I've given the report to Catherine. I thank you for this. We started in 2017 with our first walk, and this Aussie hat has been with me ever since 2017. And our first walk was in Virginia, and I thought it would take us 8 weeks to get through Virginia. No, we got through it in 2 weeks, much to my surprise, so I had to figure out what to do next. So we went out to Oregon, and that was only 4 weeks. And then we went to San Diego, and we finally were coming back through Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Dawn Branson reported at Residence Council that we were stuck in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we really needed some more steps to get back to Richmond. And so everybody kind of participated, and we all got back to Richmond. So every year it's been a lot of fun, but the most important thing is I appreciate all the dedication for everybody who does get out and walks, because it's a team effort. And this year, it was just amazing. We had some people who walked over 60 miles a week. So that took our average up over to 20 miles per person per week. So we were finished. We were in Key West at the end of 5 weeks. And so we had to stay in Key West for a couple days to do some shopping and sightseeing before we headed back to Richmond. But it was a lot of fun, and I appreciate all of your participation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tom. We might change a little bit our agenda. We've had our leader here, Paul, and we'll move him up ahead of me because he said he wanted 2 hours or something like that. We're nice to have you with us, always.
Well, thank you. I'll only be an hour and a half. That was such an exaggeration. My goodness. No, I really don't have a whole lot to say other than, we're trying this new format, or at least new for the last few years. We're doing the director's dialogue next week I think it's going to be 1 o'clock on that day, next Wednesday, because there's a service here. But other than that, it'll be 3 o'clock every first Wednesday of the month. And we'd love people to come out. It'll be streamed, but I'm hoping people don't get so conditioned to sitting at home that we just have an empty room. And the whole idea is to have some dialogue about whatever's on your mind. And I'll use a PowerPoint, and we'll try to figure out the best way for you all to be able to see that. And we'll cover a lot of topics and try to answer whatever questions that you have at that time. I do want you to know that next Wednesday morning there'll be a crane on site. And the crane is going to be putting a piece of equipment up on top of a healthcare building. It was going to be on Tuesday, but now it's going to be on Wednesday. And it's going to be from 8 to 2 roughly. It's a big crane for a little piece of equipment. But you'll see a crane over by the new household building. So if you see that, that's what that is. It might get rescheduled to the following Saturday. Today it's going to be on that Wednesday, but we're thinking if it's no more money, we might do it on Saturday to avoid any kind of parking problems for the staff. So either Wednesday or Saturday, you'll see a crane. That's all. I think that's really, I'm going to save all my powder for next week, if that's all right with you. And hopefully I'll see a bunch of you there, and we'll see what happens. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Paul. Well, welcome to our last meeting of the Residents' Council this year, for me at least. This year has been a significant change from the previous one, with numerous operational changes as dictated by COVID-19 and its challenging variations. I have a few highlights of the past 12 months. In April, all of our roads, parking lots, and Cedarfield campus were repaved, and new speed bumps were added to encourage prudent driving. Additionally, dining services welcomed us back into the dining rooms. The new household building opened, and various activities such as cards, games, and field trips resumed. The second Garden Day was held in May, and it was a rousing success with the help of more than 40 resident volunteers. Also, there was a Memorial Day program in the courtyard with its remembrance of those who have defended this country and those who gave their lives for our freedom across the years. The program encouraged us to focus on the blessing of living in these United States of America. In June, as part of Cedarfield's 25th anniversary, the Jubilee Beach Party was held on 5 separate campus sites. The food venues, games, music, edibles, and drinks made it a delightful occasion. And what a surprise for me personally. It was the biggest birthday party I've ever had. Thank you all for being there. Cedarfield's resale shop, the Cedar Chest, was reopened in July with much interest in stellar sales. In September, An amazing musical extravaganza included a 2-day finale for our year of celebrating the 25 years. A variety of performers were located in various settings, which offered delicious culinary treats. This was followed by 2 nights of elegant dinners in the dining rooms. Clearly, good food plays a significant role in our lives. Thank you, dining members. Oh, some of them left already. In October, the Big House on the 4th floor, just above the town center, a collection of framed pictures and historical texts were dedicated to those who have paved the way for us residing here today. It's a first-class exhibit, and visiting it is definitely worth the time. A further milestone in the fall is the long-awaited opening of the Atrium Cafe, with an engaging new staff and the good food and friendly atmosphere remembered from pre-pandemic times after 2 long years. In December, the residents planned and presented a truly wonderful party, honoring all of Cedar Field's team members and their services to us throughout the past year. It was a return to the annual parties held for the years before the virus prevented us from gathering as a community, and it was a really good event. Food, fellowship, music, ambience, as well as generous checks to all the staff members. It was the Cedar Field family at its best. Along the way, we learned that Michael Shaw was heading to a new job with Pinnacle Living, and that Paul Gregg was picking up that baton at Cedar Field. Paul has completed more than his first month with us, and we anticipate many good days ahead. I would like to take a moment here to collectively thank all of the individuals who have planned, encouraged, and volunteered to help with the past year's events. Staff and residents alike have worked together in these challenging times of constant rules changing, and you have made celebrating possible. Cedar Field has weathered the Herculean challenge that has been the COVID season, and Cedar Field is coming back strong. I am so grateful to all of you. To Mike Greenwood, our incoming president, thank you for stepping into this position. I wish you well. Catherine, please come over here just a minute. Catherine has been the secretary here over the last year. She's done a lot of the hard work. And I'd like you to have this just in Thanksgiving for what you've done. Okay, next we have the nominating committee report. Carol Markow, thank you.
The nominating committee counted the ballots on Monday, February 21st, 2022, and report the following results. 292 ballots were voted yes for the slate of officers, 35 ballots abstained, and 2 ballots were no votes, for a total of 329. The Residence Council President-elect will be Ann Williams, and the Resident Council Assistant Secretary, Treasurer-elect will be Joy Nevins. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Before we get into the various reports, one more item just as an update. The election of committee chairs, our bylaws require that we elect, that I get to donate or to suggest people along with Mike. And the ballots went out, and all of the ones that we had on there that were proposed were definitely approved. There was one situation where that person hadn't been included, partly because of my fault, because I wanted that particular committee to know who the recommendation is, and sent out one other document, and she was also. So all of those have gone out, are now officially members, and those, just so you know, the members of both the area reps and the committee chairs are in our most recent telephone book that we've gotten. The one that's missing because of my fault is Susan Hutchison, who is now the official chair of the Facilities Committee. So we'll move on with the committee reports. The first one is communication. I think Roe Stewart has a report.
Good afternoon. The Communications Committee met February 14th for its monthly meeting. The first thing we did was give positive recognition, was the way we put it, to Paul's intent to replace the current televised chats, as he just told you about, with a return to an all-resident meeting. Also praised was his announced intent to make available continuing information about Cedar Field's continuum of care. We also noted that Channel 974, showing the numbers of COVID cases, was well received by the residents. We're having problems with the audio on the live streaming, and that seems to be happening with some frequency, but we would call attention to that. Florence Parks outlined the progress of the Touchdown Committee, which has been meeting for almost a year. She explained that Touchdown is the provider for the My Cedarfield app. Cedarfield has not tapped into all the capabilities of Touchdown, but Touchdown is not the only provider available. This is all being studied by the technology experts. There's an additional training session for residents scheduled on February 21 about Touchdown, part of the commitment of the training subcommittee to provide residents training once a quarter. It is also rolling out training for team members. As far as content of 974, there has been improvement in readability and grammar of slides, due in part to a style guide that was developed by the 974 subcommittee of that Touchdown Committee. Karen Tate is now overseeing the grammar and spelling on the slides. Florence thinks the Touchdown Committee has addressed the initial needs. However, it continues to meet quarterly to address continuing needs. In response to a concern, Florence will look at organizing the mail cubicles, the cubicles in the mail room, to make numbers easier to find. Jane Kelly, who is our representative, the Communications Committee's representative on the sign committee, reported, and they haven't seen anything yet, but they have another meeting coming up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dining services, we had a report already. I think there is no report here for the environmental facilities. Chuck Bingley is with us, getting ready to give us a report.
Good afternoon. My report is only 4 pages long, so you all sit back and relax. But rather than put you to sleep, I'll give you a couple of highlights. The atrium tunnel work is underway, as you all can see. And the leak down at the Atrium Cafe has been repaired, and a replacement ceiling panel is on the way. One item that came up was elevators 3 and 4, which serve the atrium are having some problems, and that's being looked into, and they should be in good operating order shortly, if not possibly even being replaced. The gas log replacements has come to a standstill since there are no gas logs that are giving any problem. As they present problems, they'll be replaced with electric ones. And the missing light post that was felled by a tree back last year on the Parkway, a replacement has been found, actually a relocation of another light post, and that should be replaced shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Finance, Carol?
The Finance Committee met on February the 11th, 2022. James Green presented the financial reports for the 6 months ended November 30, 2021. James called attention to the other revenue account. Cedarfield received business interruption insurance payments for problems due to construction issues, and a payment from HHS for COVID expenses in assisted living under the CARES Act. These receipts kept our revenue budget on track. In operating expenses, there was an increase over budget for administrative expenses due to the recruitment expenses and continued COVID expenses. Food costs and wage increases pushed dining expenses over budget, and we expect neighborhood households or health care expenses to get higher next quarter due to wage increases. Cedarfield showed a positive result in the change in net assets for operations for 6 months of $3.8 million. The non-operating charges, there were interest payments on the bonds of $2.5 million. Also stated was an unrealized loss of investments of $1.1 million, but we had investment income of $1.2 million, which offset it. Cedarfield showed a change in net assets of $2.3 million for the 6 months. Cedarfield's capital expenditures were $800,000 for routine expenses and $3.5 million for Cedarfield expansion. Year-to-date bond payments equaled $2.4 million. All of these items come out of Cedarfield's current income and is shown on Pinnacle Living's balance sheet and cash flow statements, which are not reflected in the statement of activities which is attached to these minutes. The committee also discussed the following items. Can we project the percentage increase needed to cover wages for the next fiscal year? Cedarfield's finance department is working on that and have not yet arrived at an amount that they can budget. One member wanted to know the dollar amount that Cedarfield spends on other Pinnacle-related entities. Any shortages that may be due to occupancy, rates, and other factors cannot be determined at this time. Other access to funds and investments for each entity would have to be known, and the amount of the deficit varies from quarter to quarter. Perhaps at the end of the year, we will request this information from Pinnacle and be able to provide it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carol. Flower, there's no report. Gardening, Sally, No official report. Moving on, health services, Elvira, no report. Library, I think Dolly does have a report on the library.
Good afternoon, everyone. The library continues to be a vibrant, important facility for the residents of Cedarfield. The committee thanks administration for the funds to purchase new book and to the residents who generously donate to the library fund and donate their books as well. A special thanks to David Long, who donates the Wall Street Journal every day, and the Ohnbergs, who donate the Washington Post. Several things on the to-do list was accomplished this year. The Richmond and Virginia history books were moved to the balcony. The DVDs were located to the Peppermint Lounge. The classics were moved to accessible shelves. The upper shelves were filled with decorative items. The artwork was replaced by paintings done by resident artist Susan Hutchinson on loan. They are for sale too, as well, and the prices are posted in the library if any of you are interested in buying any one of those lovely paintings. The computer has been up and running and a definite asset to the function of the library and for the residents. Unfortunately, what has not happened is the acquisition of new chairs for the big table, new lounge chairs, or new window treatments or carpeting. The chair has discussed this with the new executive director. There is no new information at this point. The shelving issue was solved by relocating some books and discarding others. As this is being written, resident Don Branson is building a freestanding shelving unit for the puzzles and discarded newspapers. This is a time-consuming and taxing job for him. The committee profusely thanks Don for what will be a very appreciated addition to the library. I have thoroughly enjoyed being the chairman of the library committee. I have received much more than I have given. I've made friends that I never would have because I live in a cottage. So I've been up here every day and could meet many of you. And I am very grateful to Sally Wood, if you would stand, Sally, who is taking on the responsibility of the library, starting already. she's up and running, so I do thank you, and I thank all of you.
Please remain. I am Barbara Fiske, representing every member of our library committee. On behalf of this committee, we want to thank Dolly for her past 3 years of service. During the pandemic, when most of us were so isolated, she set to work in her own home, composing all the necessary information in a manual, and now will become a legacy for all future leaders of our committee. We have often seen Dolly in our library, and we are grateful to her for recruiting new members, cajoling every reader, listening and guiding our volunteers, cataloging books, sorting books, securing a computer for our use, and then giving us training sessions, communicating with administration for improvements to our library, making decisions with the library committee during our monthly meetings, doing just a fantastic job in her sweet, gentle, smiling way. We want Dolly to know you have provided every resident and team member here with a unique sense of comfort in our Cedarfield Library, whether browsing, reading a book, magazine, or checking out a new or favorite book. Our residents are glad they do not have to buy books. They just have to find them and enjoy them. Even residents give us books, and Dolly has the task and joyously found a space and a home for all books so that we may continue to be readers. With our warmest wishes, we wish to thank Dolly for organizing and beautifying our library. On Friday, there will be a floral display to honor Dolly, and extra funds have been collected and a donation will be made in her name to the Friends of the Library Committee. Today, we would like Dolly to enjoy a bouquet and a thank you from her Friends of the Library Committee.
Thank you, Barbara, and thank you, everybody. You know, I don't do the work. The committee does the work. So I thank all of them, and I thank you for your kind words and your flowers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dolly. Religious life, do we have a report? No? Okay. Safety, he's not here. Welcoming, Nellie. I see Nellie.
Good afternoon. The Welcome Committee has welcomed 4 new residents to Cedarfield recently. Jerry and Arlene Lerner moved into apartment 387. They moved from Stewart Avenue in Richmond. Harry and Lois Gillis moved into apartment 385. They moved to this apartment from Hickory Nut Place in Midlothian. On February the 9th, we had a welcome session for some residents who had recently moved to Cedarfield. Eldon Rucker, president of the Residents' Council, was there and spoke to these residents and answered any questions that they had. Steve Gislin, a dining room manager, not only provided refreshments, but also spoke and explained the various dining services to these new residents. And thank you. I think the new residents left knowing a little bit more about Cedarfield than when they had entered the room. Thank you.
Thank you. The Wellness and Leisure, is there someone giving a report today? Wasn't sure. Okay, and is there an update on background? Okay.
Thank you. Our VACRA meeting met on Friday, February 18th in the Fellowship Hall. We had 29 in attendance, and we now have over 100 members of VACRA here in Cedarfield. If you have not yet joined VACRA and would like to, Sally Wood and Barbara Fiske or I would be delighted to talk with you after this meeting and give you an application. We always have those with us. Our agenda on that Friday included reporting to the membership on Barbara's meeting and my meeting with our executive director to discuss VACRA, our goals of VACRA, and our approach to dealing with issues important to the residents. We also reviewed the Ask and Learn program, and we asked for topics for additional programs that might be important to residents. And if any of you have a topic that you are interested in or feel needs exploration, talk to one of us, and we'll be glad to take that into consideration. On March 18, the VACRA meeting will have another Ask and Learn program. It will center around health care and the Medicare certified beds that will be available. Mary Ann Johnson will be our featured speaker. All residents are invited. It will be live streamed also. We also had a quick update on House Bill 425, which was tabled at the hearing back in early February. And our state VACRA Legislative Committee is reviewing all of that and strategizing our next move. One positive note is from this hearing, we got the attention of the State Corporation Committee, or Commission, State Corporation Commission, excuse me, who promised to update and improve the 800 complaint line and to make the website more user-friendly. Copies of the committee hearing were available to members, whoever wanted them, and we do have a few of those left if anybody here would like to have a copy, or if anybody listening would like to have a copy, please let Barbara, Sally, or I know, and we'll get it to you. Our meetings are held every third Friday at 10 o'clock in the fellowship hall. We ask that you mark your calendars and please plan to attend. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to the area representatives. Is there someone from Area 1 in the area 2? Who's rushing up there, Andy?
Security is only as good as its weakest link. The wood fence running from the pond to Three Chop Road is missing boards, allowing easy access to the campus. On several occasions, people have been seen passing through the fence. It has been suggested that a tasteful metal fence should be constructed for added security for the campus. When residents re-enter the campus at the security gate, why are they still recording our name and residence number? And when will management make masks optional? Somebody need it. That's the end of Area 2, but I'd like to make a plug for the Environmental Committee. We have people on the committee looking after the trails and the pond, and if anyone would like to join the Environmental Committee, I'd be pleased to talk with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ann. Area 3? No report. Area 4? And see Nancy. Area 5? No. Area 6? Yes, okay.
Area 6 met in the atrium on February the 10th. We had our business meeting at 4:30. Paul Gregg met with us, and many of us had not met him, and this was a privilege. We really did appreciate him taking the time to meet with us. Thank you very much. Some of our concerns were discussed. We're thrilled that the atrium is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but we share the area trash, and it's been overflowing, but we are working on that problem. There's a need for new carpet in our wings due to the heavy traffic in our areas. Some residents are still having problems with poorly installed windows, and residents are still having problems with the phones and the internet. But after our meeting, we enjoyed a delicious Valentine dinner and fellowship. It was great to be back in the atrium. Thank you.
Thank you. Area 7, Ann Williams. You got 2 jobs, you better be on one side.
Area 7 is thrilled to announce that starting March 1, Mary Ellen Acey and Ann Ward will be sharing the area representative's job. Thank you both.
Thank you. Area 8, is there a report? Area 9, Larry.
Yes, 2 things. One, I would like to make a personal comment. Many thanks to the dining team for opening the salad bar. Secondly, possibly the executive director can say something on the campus parking policy. This was alluded to last Wednesday by the executive director, and in walking around the campus, we did note that there was at least one warning from Cedarfield attached to a windshield of a car.
Is there a question?
Yes. What is the campus parking policy? If someone is getting a citation or a warning, it is nice to know what the policy is.
Do we ticket your car?
No.
No, okay. There is concern that staff members are parking in places they shouldn't park. And there's some concern that private duty people are parking in places they shouldn't park. And there's some thought that D-Wing residents may be parking places that they could park in their own place, not in the front. But we have to talk about that some. So we decided we would up the security presence in the certain parking areas and give tickets to people who are parking in the wrong spot or remind them to park in the correct spot. And that would include private duty aides and employees, team members. And I'm going to meet with D-Wing sometime soon, and we'll talk about parking with those folks. If that's a problem, I really don't know that it is. Does that get to the heart of the question? Yes. Okay. But if I know which car is yours, I'm going to... No, just kidding.
Okay, Area 10, do we have a report? Area 11, Don's not here, I think. Area 12? No report. Area 13? Yes, all right. Sunny Zinder. Would it help to talk like this?
I just wanted to tell you that our neighbor, I represented for almost 3 years, Kent Rowe, took sick, and Molly and Lynn and I are taking over her job. And on March 28th, we're going to have a dinner meeting of the entire area and try to get to know one another better and know that we care about one another. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sonny. Area 14?
No report.
No report. Area 15?
No.
No. Area 16? No. Area 17?
5. No report.
5, all right. Area 18? No. Area 19? No. Area 20?
No report.
Area 21? No? All right, is there any old business before the group? Any new business? I'd like to introduce you to the president-elect, Mike.
Am I ready?
Greenwood. Let's hear it for Mike.
The speech is so long, I have to call it up here. First, I'd like to thank all the people that worked so hard this year, the area representatives that are leaving, the committee chairs that are leaving, and welcome to the new chairs and the new committee area representatives. I would tell you that Eldon has already recognized Catherine, but Louisa, where are you, dear? Can you come up here with your husband, please? You, Louisa, and Eldon, come on up here. This box is not actually filled with, it's funny, when I came in, Louisa said, I wish you had a bottle of wine in that thing. So I got more than a bottle of wine.
Yes!
I'm going to put it down because it's heavy. I just wanted to thank Eldon so much for his leadership and what it meant to me personally. Really. And to Louisa, who, Catherine is the real secretary here, but the secretary who is really the secretary for Eldon is right here. It's a team. And so, thank you. So, I look forward to this year. I would tell you that I think there are things we can do, and we've done things in this residence council, and I think there are things we can do going forward. I think that we can be more proactive as a residence council, for example. I think our committees can be responsible and helpful in many things, like communication. Our communication can be better. Our resolution of problems can be maybe served through committees in working together. We need our continued transparency in finances. We need to know where we are and where we're going. We need to encourage participation in all the committees and all the life of this community. And we need to generally be responsive to the needs of all the residents. I think finally we came to Cedarfield because we feel like this is the best continuing care community around. And I think our focus needs to be on keeping it that way with administration, not only in the independent side of this building, but also in the licensed side of this building. And we have to keep vigilant and make sure that we're the best we can be in all these areas. And I think the Residents Council can be more proactive and helpful in this. I look forward to being your president, I think. And I look for a great year in 2022. And I once again thank Eldon and Catherine and Louisa for a job well done. We're done, I think, right?
Well, all right. Now, one last thing. A lifetime provides opportunities to wear many hats. I have been gifted with one for today.
Retired.
I think we are adjourned. Have a good time.
You want my little wheelie to take this to your truck?
Oh, God. Oh. Ooh.